Hi, welcome to Cape May Days, a podcast celebrating all the wonderful things in and around this amazing shore town. I'm your host, Jane Gober. Cape May has been my happy place for a very long time. And a few years ago, I started a successful blog and decided to take it to the next level. I'm so glad you're joining me on this great adventure. Today's guest is Marla Brown, who is the executive director of the Chester County Coast Guard Community Foundation. And I'm so glad that she's here with us. The Coast Guard, as you all know, I'm sure, is such a huge part of the feel of Cape May. So welcome, Marla. Thank
Hi, thank you
you.
for having me.
So why don't you start by just kind of giving an overview of what the foundation
Sure.
is?
So, the Cape May County Coast Guard Community Foundation was formed in 2015, back when the Coast Guard had established Cape May County a designated Coast Guard community. There are about 29 of them right now in the country. I believe 4 counties, and the remaining are cities. Obviously, all of those having a large, somewhat not so large, but active Coast Guard presence and community. And so, yep, so we're approaching in 2025 our 10-year anniversary. and
It's exciting.
so basically that's the history of us and how long we've been around and the reason we're here.
Oh, I hear that it's fine. It's
Yeah.
totally fine. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if my pup started to introduce himself any time now.
They want to be part of the group.
You're
They
good.
don't like to be left out.
Yep. I get it. I totally get it.
So anyway, we just had our Coast Guard Ball, Southern New Jersey Coast Guard Ball was this past Saturday. So still recovering, still, going through all the, I guess, recap. But we had an amazing attendance. It was the most that I've had so far. This was my third ball since I've been the executive director, of which I became in December of 2021. I started with the foundation in December of 2020 under my previous executive director, Mike Couch. And we worked great together for a year, and he made the decision to move and appointed me. Well, not appointed me, but thought that I would be good at this job, which I was a little hesitant about at first. I'd never really led an organization. I've been part of organizations as an event director, but this was new for me, and I was a little nervous. Always feeling like I'm a little shy, which people can't believe that, but I can be when I want to be. But this job has really brought me out of my comfort zone and got me to talk to people and do things that I've never done before. And I think I did make a really good decision when I decided to join back in December of 2025. So it's been an adventure, and it's a fun one. Yeah. So.
That's
Mhm.
fantastic. Well, I'm so glad that you did. So, can you tell us? I know there's a lot of programs and things that you do
Mhm.
for the Coast Guard in general, the folks that are based there,
Mhm.
the folks that are training
Mhm.
there. So, could you talk a little bit about that for us?
Sure. So when we were established in 20 going back to 2015, we really were established the foundation as a means of bringing a festival to the Coast Guard base here in Cape May. There's an amazing festival that they have every year up in Grand Haven, and this was something that our leaders here in Cape May County felt that we should have. But as the years went by and we had the festival, and then we decided to bring on the ball, COVID hit us. And organizations, nonprofits need a base. They need a platform other than events, but they need a platform for programs that actually financially support and assist, whether it's research grants is what I used to do, or now what Coast Guard active duty families. So we started to establish some programs. The first one being, and I call it our charter program, the first one being our community activity program. And basically, what that is it assists not only children of active duty members, but the active duty, all dependents, the active duty member themselves, their spouse, and their children, the ability to take part in community activities, to feel welcome here in the county and blend in with the community. And it's expensive. Intramural activities are expensive. So we're here to help. We offer each dependent up to $300 per year of reimbursements for community activity programs, which can be anything from piano lessons, horseback riding, gymnastics. A lot of the Coast Guard children go to kind of the same places. I've noticed they go to, Jersey Cape dance, they do boxing, but it's just nice. They're just so appreciative because, like I said, it's expensive to do these extra, activities. And they really love it. So that was our first program. And actually in 2023, we reimbursed over $10,000. And right now in 2024, we're almost at 5. So it's catching on. They're asking for help, which is hard for them to do. But I get such gratification out of writing that check and saying, like, I'm so glad that I can help you, or help Kendall take horseback riding lessons, or help you do yoga. You know what I mean? So it's a nice thing. And I've slowly gotten to know the families too, which is sometimes hard to do, is to get to know the families. And I think that through our programs, I've been able to do that in a nice way. We also I started a backpack brigade program. I realized I don't have children, I have dogs. But, when I did some research on how much it costs for the back to school list, I couldn't believe it. It's over $1,000. So I partnered with Operation Homefront, who provides us with 50 to 60 backpacks per year. And then we also work with the North Wildwood VFW and Dollar Tree, and they provide the supplies. So we end up providing 60 fully stocked backpacks for Coast Guard families. And then on top of that, we have a little event right before the school year starts in mid-August. And we also provide ice cream, and it becomes like this really nice community centered event around the Coast Guard base over there, in Cape May. So that was my second program. And we've just started growing with the program. Because of the Backpack Brigade, I learned that a lot of military families in general, but Coast Guard here, homeschool. And it could be for a variety of different reasons, but understanding now how they move every few years and have to uproot their children to different curriculum, different ways of teaching. There's a significant amount of families who homeschool. So they asked, do I support that? And I said, well, how about we talk about it and let me see what I can do. So it took about a year for us to talk. I spoke with about 5 families, understood their whys, their hows, how they do it, what they do, how much it costs. And then I went to my board and I said, this is what I've gathered. I proposed a program. And, it took a little bit of talking it through. But we established the homeschooling program, and we were actually completely funded by First National Bank of Elmer, who we've become close to. And they kind of said, do you have a pet project one day? And I said, you know what, actually, I do. So they were generous enough to fund the program, and we still have remaining funds still left, through this year and starting into 2025. So I'm excited to start to have that event, because it's just so nice. Everyone comes to the corner where we gather, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. But it's a nice blend of our community members and our Coast Guard kids and families that come and get their backpacks and get some ice cream. So that's another program that really has allowed me to become close with the families and get to know them and understand what their needs truly are. and then they'll ask me, they'll ask me, oh, do you do this, or can we do this, or have you thought about helping us with this? And most of the time I can say yes. Sometimes we have to think about it. XO commanding officer, or XO executive officer of the base, Brad Conway, has a line: we'll get to a place of yes. So I feel that way too about when they come to me for help. So that day looks like it will be August 16th this year. So we'll start planning our backpack brigade giveaways. So that's just a nice relaxing day on the corner. And the corner.
And the community can participate
What's that?
Community can participate in that if they
Well,
choose. Correct?
the reason the community participates in it is because of what we do on Fridays. In case people don't know, some people don't know this. 42 Fridays out of the year, there's a graduation of recruits that have just made it through and graduated from basic training. Trace in Cape May, Coast Guard Training Center, Cape May, is the only training center in the country for enlisted individuals going into the Coast Guard. So, approximately 4,000 recruits come through Cape May every year. It's a little lower now. I'm hoping we'll get our recruiting numbers back up soon. But so on those Fridays, we have this group of community members, and it's a group of regulars, and we're always happy when new people join us. But we stand on the corner and we wave flags and signs, and sometimes personal signs, and we stand there from 12 to 1 and just wave, and sometimes get to talk to the families and the recruits who have just graduated. Sometimes they'll get out and talk to us and hang out with us and get pictures. And it's just like this really wonderful organic thing that's so small to us, because it's just an hour out of our day and we're just standing there talking and enjoying each other's company. But it means so much to them because they see the support of our community for them and their families. So that's why the community is involved in our backpack brigade, because I bring those two things together on a Friday when there's a graduation. That way I can thank our community members, and I can thank our Coast Guard with the treat of ice cream. And they get to meet and talk to the families too, which they love. So it's like just a really sweet thing. Which is actually the first job I had when I started with the foundation in December of 2020. It was freezing cold, and my first task was to go to the corner and wave flags. And I got there not really knowing what to do, feeling a little shy. And the second the bus pulled out and went by us, and we were all waving, and we could see them inside waving to us, I was crying my eyes out, and I knew that I had made the right decision to start with this organization and to do this job. So the corner is a really special place for me. I never miss it. I try as hard as I can not to miss it. But I'm there with the group the majority of the time, and they're my people.
So if people listening wanted to join
Mm-hmm.
you on the corner, specifically, which corner and what
Yep.
timing would they need to
So
know?
if you follow us on our Facebook, which is Coast Guard Community, on Facebook, Coast Guard Community, you can find us there, which is every Wednesday I'll post that we're going to be there, we're not going to be there, and we'll be there on Friday from 12 to 1. Graduation starts at 11. It's usually over by quarter of, and by the time the families start trickling off the base, we're there ready with our flags and our smiles to stand there and congratulate. So it's typically just an hour from 12 to 1, most of the time on a Friday, unless it's a holiday. And I'm always going to let people know that we're on or off on a Wednesday. And we also have wonderful community members who also will post Facebook messages telling the community that we're going to be there, or sharing different pictures from the previous week, or reels. It's a nice thing. Yeah.
And which corner is
At
this
the
again?
corner of Pennsylvania Avenue and Pittsburgh, at the Coast Guard sign. So there's two entrances. There's
Okay.
two corners that have Coast Guard signs: Delaware and Pittsburgh, and Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh. And our corner is Pennsylvania and Pittsburgh. Um, and it's our corner because in 2021 we gave this group of wonderful people a Coast Guard Hometown Hero Award. Because of them kind of doing this, and this starting during COVID, of, families weren't allowed to attend graduations, so they were sending their children off to basic training, and they were going through the prep process and not able to see them again. So it was really hard, and we came up with this, sign program where we would personalize signs for the families that they would email us and write whatever they wanted on there, and we'd wave them and take pictures and post it. So there's a sign on the corner that has our name on it, so it belongs to us and the Coast Guard.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing. I had not heard that story before. That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
I just, I'm sure, these graduates are young
Mhm,
too. It's not, so, and they're starting off on their
mhm,
career. Years ago, we were out to dinner as a family, and a gentleman stood up and said, "Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt your lovely evening, but my son and his um, classmate just graduated from the Coast Guard Academy, and I would like to buy you each a drink." Well, I'm doing it now, right? I'm getting all choked up. I burst into tears. My daughter's sitting there going, "Mom, you're embarrassing us." And I'm like, "I'm sorry. I can't help it." So we went over and we congratulated the two of them. And it was just such a heartwarming, lovely
mhm,
thing. The dad was beyond
mhm.
proud of both of them, and it was just so touching, and everybody in the restaurant cheered, and everybody, was just so warm and
Yeah,
congratulatory, and it was such a special moment. And it's a Cape May moment
it
too,
is. It
right?
is.
That's the kind of town it is, that everybody was just
Mhm,
overwhelmingly kind and warm and congratulated them. And it was just such a special moment. And it's one of the reasons
mhm.
why Coast Guard has a little bit of a soft spot in my heart, because I saw that, and genuinely you could feel the
Mhm,
pride that the dad
mhm.
had. But also Cape May, like looking around and seeing everybody
Yeah,
cheering was just
mhm.
so
And
inspiring. So
it
that's
happens
wonderful.
all the time and it's, like I say, organic way. Every year we publish a Coast Guard community guide. Our community guide, actually, we just gave it to all of our guests at the ball. It'll be spread out throughout town. It'll be at our festival that I can tell you about in a little while. But it's a guide that we put together that is it's kind of like our fundraising platform for our spring events. And we write different articles. I highlight different organizations. We do different things in it every year. And last year in 2023, we did a whole article. And one of our community members who is on the corner, who takes our videos, her name's Ginny Murray. She knows everybody in Cape May. She's always a lady about town out there, at all the
Mhm.
restaurants, and knows everyone. And she helped me with this, but she went to a lot of different coffee shops, restaurants, different places that have a little collection box on their counter, and the public can donate. And they'll when recruits are on Liberty on a Saturday and they're milling around town and through Rio Grande, they'll give them free coffee or free treats.
Yeah, coffee time. I know
Coffee
coffee
time.
time does.
And then Primal, which is like an amazing Cape May restaurant,
Oh, yes,
they'll
yes.
save the bar
Yeah,
for recruits to
well,
come in and sit on. It's an impossible reservation to get, and they'll save space for recruits to come in and have like their final group buddy dinner. And it just happens. And there will be people at the Dairy Queen that'll be there with their family getting ice cream, and they see a bunch of recruits, and they end up paying for the recruits to have ice cream, or at Wawa, or anywhere.
mhm.
And I guess if you're going to ask me what's special to me about KMA, that's what it is. I've never lived anywhere that has had such a passion and love, not just for the Coast Guard, for military. And I think the reason behind it, obviously, there's a very active base here. It's recruit training base, but we have a huge population of veterans here from all walks of the military, and they just have this, passion and love for the military. And I think that's a really important thing to have because, I think we've lost that a little bit here and there in our country. And it's just a
Yeah.
special place to be. And I saw it that day, December 2020, and my eyes were, I was puddles. So,
Yeah.
it's a neat place. It's a neat place to live and to have that love for, the people that serve our country and keep us safe.
So I'm sure you have volunteer
Mm-hmm.
opportunities besides, in addition to, I should say, not besides, in addition to honoring the Coasties as they
Mm-hmm.
graduate. But can you talk a little bit about maybe some volunteer opportunities that might be out there? Or do you want to segue directly into events and talk about the two of them together? Because I know you just had the
Mm-hmm.
ball, which was a huge success. How many did you
we
say
we had a
were in
we had
attendance?
about 250, which was actually my largest. I This is my third year of planning the ball, and that was our largest attendance. So it was really nice to see, and it was a very healthy mix of community members and active duty Coast Guard from all level ranks. We encourage active duty members to come, and the Coast Guard, we offer them a tiered pricing structure for the ball so that the lower ranking members can afford it and have a good night and have a
That's
fun night out. So it was a great night. We had a really nice time. Pictures will be up on our website soon. I was so busy talking all night that I didn't get to take some pictures on my own, but we'll have nice pictures posted on our website in about a week or so, anyone can go there and see them. Um, yeah, so
awesome.
we had some nice volunteers for that event. Sarah Matthews, who's the executive director of Habitat for Humanity, and Liz Franco. Those two helped us. They were wonderful. I have a Coast Guard spouse works with me. Her name is Andrea Casciola. She was actually Military Spouse of the Year last year. But she's
Hmm.
in her husband's active duty, and she started working with me a few months ago to help me with the events. So she's been wonderful. And then we had some of my favorite community members from the corner there to help me as well. So we don't need many for the ball, but for the festival that's on May 18th, which is the Coast Guard Community Festival, it is on the base from 10 to 4. It's open to the general public. It's a unique opportunity because obviously an active base isn't open to the public usually, except for this day. So it's just a wonderful festival with all kinds of different things. You're able to go through ship tours of the cutters that are home ported here in Cape May. Hopefully, we'll have a helicopter land and do a search and rescue demonstration.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
we have canine demos, we have live music, we have a beer garden, all different types of local nonprofit organizations, as well as merchandise vendors, food trucks, you name it, we have it. So last year was the first year we had it. It had been canceled because of COVID. And then in 2022, we planned the whole thing and a nor'easter hit. So it got canceled. So finally, we had the festival last year in the rain. 3,000 people came. So if it's a sunny day, I think that we could probably get about 5,000, hopefully. Um, Therefore, the need for our
Wow.
friendly volunteers to come and help us. We're recruiting volunteers now, and I'm planning on reaching out to all of those who have already, signed up. A lot of them are repeat helpers, which is great. But yeah, and there's just all different types of responsibilities. I don't like to hand them out and assign because it's all hands on deck type of an event. So, sign up to help, come, be open to going here or there. When we need you is how I like to run it. yeah, so we love volunteers for that. We also have our race, but in between talking on events, on this Friday, Mud Hen in Wildwood, every year they have a Coast Guard salute. And 2 years ago, they created a beer for the Coast Guard. They'd always had one, but they created a new one called Boat Checks, which the staff at Trayson named. And every year they tap it for the Coast Guard salute, and a portion of the proceeds of the night come to the foundation. So that's this Friday, May 3rd, from 5 to 9. Live music, lots of coasties there, hopefully, in attendance. And Mud Hen's a great place, great people, great food, lots of fun things to do. Um,
Great
Great
beer.
beer. Yeah. So hopefully, we always have a great time. And it's just a nice, no stress event for me. I'm just there talking to people and have, my little booth set up. But it's just a nice way to get to know people and talk about what we do, and to have our coasties there to have fun. So then following that is May 18th. That'll be our festival. Then we do the Burke Motor Group Car, Truck, and Cycle Show. This will be our fourth year. I think our fourth year. Burke Motor Group is an amazing supporter of the community, of all different veterans groups, nonprofits. They have their Burke Promise, but they also support us with the car show. We raised over $22,000 last year through this event. It's on
Wow.
Yeah, it's on August 31st. And it's held from 10 to 2 at the Burke Motor Group in Cape May Courthouse. It's all a ton of awesome, cool cars, all different types. There's a whole Volkswagen part to it where all the cool old bugs come. There's a lot of motorcycle groups. There's live music and food. Um, but another really nice event, and such a supportive group of people. Francie Burke and I, work really well together in planning it. So I'm already starting to work on that with her. And we have Coast Guard judges, so I'm out there recruiting our coastie judges who like to judge the cars. So there's winners of each group. And then, we encourage the Coast Guard to participate as much as they can, just with maybe having a boat on display or something like that. Um, it's hard to predict if they're able to be there. I've been lucky; they've been there in attendance, but they have important things to do.
They have very
So we
important
always
things
have
to
to
do.
understand that. So that's Labor Day weekend, August 31st, 10 to 2 is Saturday. And then we wrap up our year with our Always Ready 5K, which is October 12th this year, which is Columbus Day weekend. So it's a long weekend. That's held at Harborview Park in Cape May, and you get the option to run. You can run through the base. So it's not held on the base, but runners run through the base, which is a really cool thing because it's a beautiful, beautiful view along the harbor there, and you get to run through all by the ships, and it's a neat experience. So that'll be our third year with our Always Ready. Last year we incorporated a canine walk with it, which was sponsored and partner with us with Blue Line Canine. Um, so as you can already see just by a few of the things I've talked about, we just have amazing partners. In our events, in donating and sponsoring our events, and sponsoring us as a foundation that just show amazing support throughout the year. So Cape May Brewery has also partnered with us every year of the 5K, because they have their always ready beer.
Mhm.
And then last year they created, and for the 75th anniversary of Trayson, they created Brilliant at the Basics beer. So you might still be able to buy that at their tasting room. But it was a really great idea that they came up with, and worked with the command at Trayson to come up with a brew to honor that, really wonderful 75th anniversary. And they may still be celebrating it here and there. Because that's a big thing to celebrate. But yeah, so we end our year
Yes,
in
absolutely.
October, and then I start working on the festival again.
And the
And the
ball.
ball. Yep.
Yeah.
It's year round planning, year round, fundraising, year round planning, um, which is different from when we first started, where we were almost seasonal. We were almost like a seasonal organization because everything that we did happened in the spring. But now it's year round. So I'm a busy person.
That's awesome. So I think we've covered quite a bit, and you did tell me your favorite thing about Cape May. Is there anything we missed? Anything else you just think that you want to either reinforce or make sure people know? I don't know that people were aware that there is so much opportunity to support this and be part of this. Like even the ball, like anybody can go to the
Yep.
ball. It's not
Yep.
restricted. Literally anybody can
Hmm.
go. And I've seen pictures of previous ones, and it looks like a heck of a
Yeah.
good time. As a matter of fact, I may have to put that in my calendar for
You
next
should.
year.
It'll be our 10-year
But is there
anniversary.
any? Oh
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So I should
Hmm.
absolutely. That would be so much
Yeah.
fun. So anything
One
else?
new thing that I didn't mention, that I believe we used to do in the past, and I think COVID put an end, a pause to a lot of things. But at these graduations that happen 42 weeks out of the year at the training center, there used to be an opportunity for community members to attend. Any prior military veteran with an ID, with a military ID, is able to go to a graduation. But through the foundation, as a guest, we're going to be offering up to 10 community members per graduation to attend. We're going to have that listed on our website, and it'll just be a wonderful, like a nice experience for them to see what happens at a
Mhm.
recruit graduation. It's a really beautiful day. It's so wonderful to see the families so happy, and so proud of their coastie going through what they just went through. So it's going to be a new experience. We'll call it the graduation experience, and it should be up on our website soon, for community members to take advantage of something special that happens here.
Well, thanks for sharing that. So I will be putting all the links. This is an audio and a
Mm-hmm.
video. And the video on YouTube, I'll put links to everything in the show
Great.
notes, to make sure that people are aware of that. So thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for joining us here. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. And please subscribe and share and just make other people aware, because it helps me and it helps Kate May. So thanks again and take care. Till next time.
Thank you.